Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to Shitu's Mathematics Coaching Program. By the special grace of God, we are going to look at addition rule of differentiation. So, addition rule of differentiation. So now, if we are given, that is, given a function, or let me say, given two functions of what? Of x, that is u of x and v of x. If y is now equals to, that is, y is our dependent variable here, that is, y is now equals to u of x plus v of x. So what is dy dx? That is what we are trying to do. You can see we are given a function, that is y equals to u of x plus v of x. So we now ask to find the derivative of the function of this function y, u of x plus v of x. So dy over dx, that is the differentiation of y with respect to x, is what understand? So that's what we want to do now. So we now try to derive the addition rule of differentiation. So how are we going to do that? So we try to differentiate this function with respect to x generally, that is y plus, let's make this to be equation 1, that is y equals to u of x plus v of x, be equation 1. Down, you take the increment of this y, and also the increment of this. So the increment of y will give us what? Y plus dy equals to u plus du plus v plus dv. That is the increment. That is the small increment of what? Of v, the small increment of what? Of u, and also the small increment of what? Of y, of the what? Of the both sides. So now the next thing, we name this to be what? Equation 2. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So from here, what's the next thing? The next thing to do here is you subtract equation 1 from 2. So subtracting equation 1 from 2, that is equation 2 minus equation 1. So what do we have? You can see that we go, we have what? We left with dy here equals to u, we cancel u here, so we have what? We have du plus v dv minus v will give us what? We give us dv. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So now this is what? This is equation 3. So now having this, and from the question given to us, they said we should try to look for the differentiation of what? Of y with respect to x, that is dy dx. So we only have dy here equals to du plus what? Dv. So now how can we do, or what do we do to make sure that we have ds here? So you now divide through, that is divide through by dx. Therefore you have dy over dx equals to du over ds plus dv over what? Over ds. So which this is the sum rule or addition rule of differentiation. So if you are now given any form of functions to, if you are given more than 2, 3, 4 and so on functions to look for their derivative with respect to your given independent variable. Here our independent variable here is x, while the one on top is the what? Is the dependent variable. So now, so how are we going to do that? So therefore you do the same thing to them if you have more than two functions, because here you are only giving two functions, u and what and v. So if you are giving more than that, so you apply the same rule to this. So now, to buttress our explanation, so I would like to give us one example. So we use this rule to see what we have gone through. So now, find, we have a question that says find, that is, find dy dx if y equals to s squared plus c plus ax to power 4 plus b. So now looking at this, you can see that from this function given to us, so we have the sum of two functions a, that is, let u to be s squared plus c, this one, and v to be ax to power 4 plus b. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So what's the next thing to do? The next thing to do is just to apply this rule that we have here. So now, applying the rule we have here, it means we are going to, from here, we are going to find the derivative of u with respect to x a, and find the derivative of what of v with respect to x a. So after that, we now employ our results into the rule. Then we have our problem solved. So now, the next thing to do is, now you have differentiate this with respect to x, that is du dx, because du dx we have s here, and our x here is independent variable here. du dx will be equals to, that is, derivative of this one will be what of x squared will be 2x, while the derivative of what of this constant c will give us 0. So when you have finding the derivative of what of a constant, you have 0. So same thing, we have dv dx. So we have what, for this one here, we come to the back and multiply. How to, we have 4 a x, there's minus 1, we have 3. So this one also is what is a constant b. So the derivative of b is what is 0. So we have this. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So now we have this, we have this. So now the next thing we are going to do is now to substitute, or you put this value back to the addition rule. So doing that, dy dx equals to, I'm trying to write the rule back. You have du over dx plus dv over dx. So we have our dy dx. So what we have what? We have du dx to be 2x. We have done that one before. Then dv dx is what is 4as raised to power 3. So, and that is our solution. You can see that is the first derivative of what of the function y equals to s squared plus c plus as to power 4 plus b. So now that is the first derivative. And same thing as I said earlier from the introduction of this topic, of this what is it called, the particular topic, I told you that the sum rule can be applied to more functions. That is, because like this one we only have two functions, that is u and v. But here, if you have 3 or more, so you apply the same rule. So we can have dy dx, that is generally can be du over ds plus dv over ds plus dw over dx plus so and dot plus dn over what, or dk, let's use dk over what, over dx, and so on like that. So that is how we apply sum rule for any given functions. So by this you can see that we have the independent, the same independent all through. So this is what we call what? This is what we call sum or addition of what? Of differentiation. So the same thing applicable to subtraction also. The only thing you are going to change here is what? It's just the sign. You just change the sign to what? To -2. So that is that. So that's this is the end of this lesson. So I urge you to kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button in order to get the notifications of my videos. So I wish you best of luck.